right, so the question is Nintendo setting itself up for a great year moving into 2026? I'll say absolutely, right? Just based on what they've announced so far, there's honestly something for everyone, in my opinion. You got the Dust Bloods for the Souls fans, Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave and Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade for RPG enjoyers, Yoshi and Mysterious Book and Animal Crossing for cozy gamers, and even Mario Tennis Fever for the ball and gun gamers. Didn't leave you guys out either. So, safe to say that Nintendo is covering a lot of ground right now. Now, of course, still a lot that we do not know right now. And there's an obvious absence of some major Nintendo icons, Mr. Jumpman himself and the Hero Time. So, those announcements are coming later, certainly. But today is not about the future. Today I want to talk about right now. Now, the Nintendo Switch 2 has been out for about 6 months. So the question is it worth buying now or should you wait? I know everyone does not have the money to just throw around, so I want to give you that answer from my personal experience that I've had with the Switch 2. First off, very briefly, I do want to talk about hardware. I'm not too much of a tech guy, so this part's going to be very short and it's not going to go too much into detail, but the Switch 2 is basically just a better Switch. The Switch 2, and I mean this in the best way possible, is just better than the Switch 1. That's all. It's bigger, significantly bigger. When I went back and played my Switch, the original, I couldn't believe the difference. I couldn't believe I had been using the original Switch for 7 years, no problem. I can definitely not go back now. Load times are faster, games run better. It's a full upgrade across the board. That's really all I have to say about hardware, though. What I really want to tackle is the software and the exclusives. You know, the thing that Nintendo always shines in. The reason people always go back to Nintendo even when they're behind on times, which, as anyone who follows Nintendo would know, they have been behind for a very long time. So in this video, I mainly want to focus on Switch 2 exclusives. Ideally, most people are going to buy the Switch. They're going to buy it as a secondary console. When you buy the Switch, they usually have another console, a PS5 or an Xbox. So that's probably where they're going to be playing those Maddens or Street Fighter or those third-party titles there. Not because the Switch can't handle them per se, but because they usually run better elsewhere. So at the time of this recording, there are about 9 Switch 2 exclusives. Games like Metroid or Pokemon ZA, they're still playable on the original Switch, so I don't really see those as system sellers right now. If you want to play those games, you're most likely just going to play those on your Switch 1. So here's the first big question I would need to ask you if you're in the market for getting a Switch 1. And is do you have a big Switch 1 backlog? If the answer is yes, then I honestly think the Switch 2 is absolutely worth it. Truly. A lot of Switch 1 titles have received Switch 2 upgrades, letting them finally play the way they probably should have been from the start. The biggest examples being, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Those games were really set back on the Switch 1. You can tell they really needed a stronger system, and the Switch 2 gives them exactly that. When I got my Switch 2, I immediately had a ton of games I hadn't finished or even started yet. So those upgrades gave me the incentive to jump right back in. And on top of that, I was lucky enough to pick up a bunch of games on Black Friday. Luigi's Mansion 3, Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, Pikmin 1 and 2, Monster Hunter Stories 1 and 2, Donkey Kong Country Returns HD. So between the Switch 1 titles and Switch 2, I got more than enough to play for a very long time. So the second thing I want to go over, and this is if you do not have a big backlog, if you don't fall under that first question, I want to know, well, what you would need to know, honestly, is, are you really a Nintendo fan? And this may sound like a dumb question, but I mean that seriously. Are you okay with primarily playing Nintendo-produced games? If you're only interested in one franchise, like if you just want to play Mario Kart, or if you think Donkey Kong or Kirby Air Rides look cool, then honestly, it has to be a hard pass right now. Nintendo usually drops one first-party title every couple of months. If that game isn't your thing, you could easily go months without anything new you want to play. They're like, obviously you can say, yeah, there's third-party games. But once again, like I stated earlier, if you already have another system, you're probably buying those there. Those third-party games sometimes don't even come to Switch at launch. So like the Final Fantasy VII Remake, Elden Ring, just a couple that's coming to mind right now, they are way behind on coming to the Switch. So if you have another system, you're probably already playing it there. I just don't believe that at this time, like a Mario Kart or a Donkey Kong can just carry this console alone. I don't think it can justify buying this console alone. For me, it isn't really an issue. I played so many of Nintendo's titles, so the Fire Emblems, Mario, Zelda, Donkey Kong, Metroid, Pokemon, Xenoblade, you name it. Between work and my responsibilities, I never really run out of things to play because I end up picking up almost everything. But if you do not, I just cannot recommend it. I would definitely say a hard pass. Mario Kart World and Donkey Kong are phenomenal games, but in this economy, I can't recommend buying a Switch 2 just to play one or two titles. This is a purchase. If you're getting Switch 2, I believe it is a purchase made on hope, right? And when I say that, I mean hope on a new Smash Bros coming out, or the new 3D Mario coming out, the next Zelda, or whatever else Nintendo can cook up. You are betting on Nintendo, and if you're a fan, obviously you're going to take that bet. As a Nintendo fan, someone who grew up on Nintendo, I'm taking that bet every time. If you're not a fan of Nintendo, I don't want to set you up to take that bet. Right? So really, here's my takeaway from this. You buy the Switch 2 now if you have a big Switch 1 backlog. If you have a big Switch 1 backlog and you love Nintendo, you're a big fan of Nintendo, I say you buy it now. But wait, and I please wait if you're only interested in playing Mario Kart or Donkey Kong right now. They're not going to hold you over forever, or definitely not into the next game, unless you have a lot of backlog of Switch 1 games you want to play. We're really not getting the next major system-defining title until probably the Dust Plus drops. And when that happens, well, I say everyone gets a Switch 2.